Hi, Dr. Team!
This is our Multimedia Project.
We decided to do it on the history of in vitro fertilization.
We really enjoyed being in your class.
And we hope you enjoy our presentation.
Bye!
Bye!
Good morning, Mrs. Brown.
Good morning, Dr. Steptoe. It is a pleasure to meet you, but you can call me Leslie.
Oh, why thank you. What brings you here today?
Well, my husband John and I have been trying to conceive for 9 years now with clearly no baby. And I was told that my fallopian tubes are blocked, so I would not be able to have children on my own. And I was referred to you by my other gynecologist. And is there hope for me to ever have a baby on my own?
Well, I may be able to help you with a new treatment that's being developed. It's called IVF, or in vitro fertilization.
IVF?
Here's how it works. We take eggs from you and sperm from your husband to create an embryo, all in a little petri dish. Once we have a viable embryo, we will place it into your uterus. Ideally, the embryo develops into a healthy baby, all with yours and your husband's genetics.
Wow, sounds like quite an involved process. Now, how exactly do all these procedures work?
Well, first we prepare your body to have your eggs aspirated. You will get doses of fertility medication to have multiple follicles develop on your ovaries. Once this occurs, we must retrieve the eggs.
Retrieve? How does one retrieve the eggs?
We insert a needle, here, look right here. We insert a needle into the pelvic cavity and remove the eggs. This won't be painful. After we have your eggs, we collect sperm from your husband. The eggs and sperm I prepared to ensure fertilization will not be compromised in any way. The egg is allowed to be fertilized by many sperm. Once fertilization is complete and an embryo is formed, we can move on to the final step. 2 or 3 days after collecting the eggs, the embryo can make its way to the uterus. A catheter is used to inject the embryos into the uterus. And then, hopefully, we get a baby. We can watch all of this with an ultrasound machine, as well as to monitor the baby.
Wow, this certainly sounds like a great new development.
Yes, Dr. Robert Edwards and I have been working on this for quite some time and are excited about its future for women like yourself.
Well, at this point I'm willing to try anything to have a baby on my own.
Yes, it is going to be very interesting working
Well,
with
thank you very much, Dr. Steptoe. It was a pleasure meeting you.
And you too, Mrs. Brown, or Leslie, I should say.
Hello, I'm Eugenia Doubtfire, and I'm here bringing you the 5 o'clock news. We have breaking news out of Oldham. The first test tube baby has been born. Louise Joy Brown was born yesterday at 12:47 p.m. to parents Leslie and John. 9 days prior to her due date, Leslie developed high blood pressure, and the doctors decided to deliver via C-section to avoid any further complications. She weighed in at 5 pounds and 12 ounces. Leslie's 10-year wait to have a child is over. She was delivered in secret by Dr. John Webster. She is healthy and the family is said to be doing well. Our news team has diligently tried getting an exclusive interview with the mother-to-be for months with no success. We know now that she was being kept out of sight due to the anticipated interest in her pregnancy and for the health of both mother and baby. The IVF doctors, Steptoe and Edward, were on hand during the delivery to ensure the child was healthy, stable, and free from any defects. This is certainly a breakthrough in the reproductive world, giving hope to women everywhere who are currently unable to bear children.
Hello, I'm Virginia Sargentopoulos, and welcome to the 5 p.m. news. Well, the Brown family is at it again. The first IVF baby, Louise Brown Mullender, delivered a healthy baby boy, Cameron. He was conceived naturally without the aid of fertility treatments. The 32-year-old mother and her husband Wesley are thrilled to welcome their new family member. The new mother never had any doubts about being able to have children naturally. However, this isn't the first grandchild for Leslie and John Brown. Louise's sister Natalie was the first IVF baby to conceive naturally. Natalie, who is 4 years younger than Louise, delivered her daughter Casey 7 years ago. This family certainly holds a place in IVF history. And that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for joining us in the 5 p.m. news. We'll see you again at 6:30.
Hello, welcome to the 5 o'clock news. My name is Charlotte Elwood, and we have some breaking news in the world of IVF. We have Dr. Khatib here via satellite to answer some questions for us. Welcome, Dr. Khatib. Can you tell us more about some of the risks associated with IVF?
Well, thank you for having me. We scientists are now concerned about the variation in gene expression in babies born by the IVF procedure. There appears to be an increased risk of premature birth, low birth weight, and birth defects, such as a congenital heart defect, cleft palate, and an improperly developed esophagus. However, these findings are only preliminary, and the risk of abnormalities with IVF may not be much higher than that of the general population.
Wow, that sounds really serious. Why do so many people choose to have this procedure?
Well, this is the procedure chosen by families who want to have children when other methods have failed.
Interesting point. How do these problems arise?
This happens when there is an alteration in gene expression without a mutation in the genome. This is known as epigenetics. IVF may have different epigenetic effects than that of a normal pregnancy, caused by the type of culture media provided to the embryo during early development but before implantation.
What does this culture media have to do with it?
Well, the chemicals in the culture may methylate certain genes to turn them off. This leads to a change in gene expression. This has been demonstrated in the growth of stem cell. However, these changes in gene expression may not be seen until later in life.
Should we be concerned about using IVF as a fertility treatment?
Like anything, this procedure has its risks as well as its benefits. We must remember that IVF is still considered a new science. The oldest IVF baby is only approaching her 40th birthday. We still don't know the full genetic effects of IVF and how it will affect IVF babies in their later years.
Thank you very much for speaking to us about this. We appreciate your input.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Louise Joy Brown was born yesterday. To leave the room.
The new mother never had any doubts about being able to conceive naturally. This isn't the first grandchild for. Oh shit! You know, I thought I was done and didn't realize that was. Sorry. And I was like, and I totally lost the accent. You're right. You lose it after a while.
Well, then I
gain
gained it.
I don't know if I like this accent. I don't know if I need to change it too.
I like it.
Hey, look,
Very good and enthusiastic.
I did it good. That came out really good when I did that.
Are we still recording?
No.
I think
Oh.
so.
Oh, great.
Just listening to music.
There appears to be an increased risk of premature birth, low birth weight, and birth defects, such as a congenital heart defect, cleft palate, an improperly developed esophagus, and a malformed rectum.
I bit my arms and you know it's gonna laugh.
We're taking that out.
Malformed